Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video. Today on my channel I'm going to be starting a brand new series called Theme Park Advice, where I'm going to be talking about all different theme parks in Florida and what they have to offer. I've been going to Florida ever since I was a child, so I know a lot about what to remember and what to do when you're there. In this video in particular I'm going to be talking about Magic Kingdom, which is the most well-known Disney park in Disney. So stick with me in this video where I'm going to tell you my tips, tricks and just must-do activities when going to Magic Kingdom. Hopefully if you've clicked on this video you're planning a trip to Florida, or maybe just reminiscing over your last trip to Florida, or even if you're just watching it for entertainment. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and I hope you enjoy it. I've got a notebook full of all my notes to make sure I don't forget anything, so hopefully I'll have some advice, some decent advice for you. Let's get into the video. So here are my top 10 tips and tricks and pieces of advice to remember on your next trip to Magic Kingdom. Tip number 1, leave extra time for everything. This is by far one of the most important points I would do for Magic Kingdom because it is just so crowded all the time. I don't know if you've gone, but there's just people everywhere. It's understandable because it's the biggest park in Disney property and it's the most well-known park as well, which makes it kind of likely that there's going to be a lot of people. This is even important to remember before you've even entered the parks. Before you get into Magic Kingdom and you're in the car park, there's still another form of transport you need to take before getting to the front gates of Magic Kingdom. You can either go by monorail, ferry boat or bus. Bus isn't really used as much, so it's mainly between monorail or ferry boat. I think lots of people believe that the monorail is quicker, however both the forms of transport take similar amount of time. Technically speaking, if you do go on the monorail you will be at the Magic Kingdom quicker on the journey, but you will be stood in line for a longer time, whereas the ferry boat can take more people at a time, but it's a slower journey. It's also important to leave extra time once you actually get into the park. There's so many people, there's so much going on, so it's very hard to get around. Try and always leave extra time, especially if you've got fast passes that you have to get to for a specific time or shows you want to go and catch. Just make sure you leave extra early and get to the location with plenty of time to spare. It's much better being early than late, and there's always something to do in the area you're in. Tip number 2, make time for the opening ceremony. This is something that's not discussed as much on social media. I couldn't find much information about it before I actually went. I only started going a couple years ago, but it is definitely worth doing. Basically, Magic Kingdom officially opens at 9, however, their gates do open from 8 o'clock down Main Street, so you are able to get there from 8 o'clock. And then the opening ceremony is held at the Magic Kingdom Castle at 9 o'clock to open the park up to all the guests. It's a really lovely show to watch. It's very similar to some of the shows that go on at Magic Kingdom during the daytime. Lots of characters come on, fireworks go off, they all like dance and greet everyone. It's a really lovely way to start the day. It's quite nice to do if maybe you don't fancy staying up so late to watch the fireworks. It's got the same sort of vibe, but it was obviously in the morning rather than in the evening. So the only downside of the opening ceremony is you will have to wake up extremely early. Like I said, the park gates open at 8. You should really be at the Magic Kingdom car park before 8, which means you're going to have to wake up really early. If you're from the UK, I would definitely recommend doing this within the first week of your holiday, because you'll still be jet lagged from your flight, which means that you'll be waking up early anyway. So as you're up early, you might as well go and see the show. Tip number 3, have a priority list. I would say having a priority list is important to do specifically for Magic Kingdom. Out of all the parks in Disney, Magic Kingdom has the most rides, the most attractions, the most shows, the most things going on. I would make a list of 4 or 5 things that you definitely want to achieve during that day so that you've got some kind of structure. I wouldn't make this priority list really long. I wouldn't have so many rides on it that it's impossible. I would just say 4 or 5 rides that can be achieved, where you definitely want to be, what you definitely want to do. You can kind of plan some sort of day around it. Magic Kingdom can be so overwhelming and you can literally walk in and just have so much going on that you don't really know where to begin. It will just make your day flow a lot smoother and make you feel like you've accomplished what you wanted to. Tip number 4, layer small rides in between bigger rides so that you don't feel like you're waiting as long. This is a tip I love to do, especially in Magic Kingdom. There's so many rides and attractions in Magic Kingdom that you can just feel like you're waiting in line all the time. There are a lot of rides in Magic Kingdom that do have longer waits, however there are some rides that have a short line or almost no line at all. These are rides like Prince Charming's Carousel, the Enchanted Tiki Room, the Mad Hatter's Teacups, Filler Magic, Carousel Progress. All rides like that just never really have a wait time or have a very short one. It just seems to make your day flow a bit quicker and make you seem like you've accomplished more during your day. Tip number 5, remember all the extra activities. As you're walking into Magic Kingdom and you're going through the tunnels just before you enter Main Street, make sure you pick up a map. As well as all the rides they've got on them, they've also got extra shows, extra parades that are going on, extra events, and just all different stuff that can be experienced in the park. They're no extra charge, so I definitely recommend taking advantage of them and watching them when you can. The parades are really nice to watch when you kind of want a break. They're a nice way to just sit and relax in the sun for a little bit. Their shows and entertainment are really what makes Magic Kingdom special from all the other parks. Now the Disney Park and Disney World really does parades, so when you're in Magic Kingdom I would definitely take the time out to watch them. Tip number 6. I also want to quickly talk about Mickey Sorcerer cards. This is an interactive game in Magic Kingdom and you can start it down Main Street, but basically they give you a pack of cards of all different characters from Disney films in. So you get these cards from Main Street and then you're able to play it around the park. There's different interactive spots and they will guide you. They'll hand you a map that you've got to follow as well. So it will tell you everything you need to know, and it's a really nice game to play. If you like to try something new or you always like to be entertained, it's a nice way to change your trip to Magic Kingdom up a bit. And you don't even have to play the game to get these cards. You can literally just go and collect them if you just want to keep them as a bit of memorabilia. I definitely recommend giving it a go, especially if you've been to Magic Kingdom a couple times and you want to try something new. It will definitely make your experience a bit more magical. Tip number 7, take advantage of Disney's PhotoPass. This is something that is done in every park, but I think it is particularly magical in Magic Kingdom. Basically around Magic Kingdom there are loads and loads of different photographers which want to take your photo when you're at the park. You can stand in queue and they will take your photo for you and scan it straight onto your Magic Band, and it will go straight onto the My Disney Experience app and you can have access to do whatever you want with them. It's a really nice way to remember your holiday and get full group photos, especially if you're in bigger groups. They take the photos in some of the nicest backgrounds, so they can take it in front of the castle or in front of Big Thunder Mountain or any of your favourite places around the park. They also do magic photos, which is where they edit animations on top of your photos as well, which makes it look like you're doing specific things. Sometimes you have to ask for these and sometimes they do it just because they want to, but I would definitely recommend asking for them because they're really fun. Also, if you've got an early breakfast reservation in Magic Kingdom at Be Our Guest Restaurant or Crystal Palace, I would definitely recommend sneaking in and getting your photo in front of the castle then. You'll have almost no people in it at all and it will look so amazing. Tip number 8, wear comfortable clothes. This is so important. I can't explain it enough. I know when you're at Disney you want to look nice. Obviously you're going to have all these lovely photos that you need to take, so you want to be wearing something that you look nice in. Just make sure you're comfortable and you're being practical. You've got to think of what the day is going to hold. You're going to be doing a lot of walking. It's going to be a billion degrees outside. There's going to be lots of crowds and lots of people. It's going to be a very busy and hectic day. Just make sure you're going to be comfy in the clothes you're wearing. Make sure you've got comfy shoes on. Make sure you're not wearing anything too tight that's going to be restricting, and just overall make sure you feel okay. Also, if you're going to go on any of the water rides there, Splash Mountain is known to get you soaked, so just make sure you're wearing something that's going to dry really easy. Just double check that you're wearing suitable clothes. Make sure you're wearing shoes that aren't going to rub, or just nothing that's too restricting. I've definitely made the mistake of wearing denim shorts to Magic Kingdom and then getting them all wet on Splash Mountain and having to spend the rest of the day in tight, wet denim shorts that just rub, and it's just not what you want, and it really did ruin my day there. So just either wear something comfortable or bring a spare pair of clothes, whatever suits you, but definitely remember that because it is one of the worst things and it will ruin your day. Go on rides while the fireworks are on. Obviously I would only recommend this point if you've already watched the fireworks or are planning to watch them on another night, but it is a real time saver. During this time in the evening, a lot of the people that are still in the parks are going to watch the fireworks, so they're all gathered around the castle, so that means the majority of the rest of the park is more or less empty. This is the perfect time to go on all them rides that you want to go on, but the queues were just way too long. There's a shorter queue for them all, there's less people about, so it's easier to get from place to place. I also specifically like doing this tip on rides like Big Thunder Mountain and the Dwarfs Mine Train because they are outside roller coasters, so you are able to watch the fireworks going off while you're riding the ride. It's just a really good way to get on the rides you want to go on and not have to queue an absolute lifetime for them. If you've got one evening where you don't know what you want to do, just get the monorail over to Magic Kingdom and just go there for the last couple hours before the park shuts. You'll get loads of stuff done and it will definitely be worth your trip. Tip number 10, remember you can't do everything in one day. This is by far the most important tip to remember. This is a huge park and it is crowded, so it is very tiring, so please don't think that you're going to get all this, that you're going to achieve the whole park in one day. There is so much that it has to offer, and trying to cram it all into one day just won't work. Magic Kingdom is definitely a park that needs a couple days to go to in order to get everything you want to done. For Magic Kingdom especially, I recommend doing half days, or like I said, just going for the evening, because you'll feel more refreshed and you'll be able to get a lot more done. So it's just important to be aware of that. Best way to tackle this is to go into Magic Kingdom and just get a sense and feel of what it's going to be like during that day. Check on what the wait times are for all the rides, look at what fast passes you have, look at how crowded it is, look at how hot it is. All these factors come into play when thinking how your day is going to pan out. Realistically, you can only do what you can do, and you need to be happy with whatever you've achieved. So I think just remembering this is an important thing to do, because it's so easy to get overwhelmed there and feel like you haven't accomplished everything you needed to do. But it is important to remember how massive of a park it is, and no one is able to do everything in one day. Right, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching this video if you're still here at the end. I've also written a blog post which is linked in the description, which is a beginner's guide to Magic Kingdom, where I go into even more depth of all the separate lands in Magic Kingdom and what they have to offer. I think it's a really helpful blog post for people who have never been to Disney World before and want to get more of a sense of feel for all the parks. In the future, I will be planning on creating each park as well as a video for each park with a similar style, so please stay tuned for that. Please leave a like and comment down below of what your tips and tricks are when you go to Magic Kingdom. I would love to hear them, and it would really be a nice thing to do. Stick with me for my next theme park advice video, where I'm going to be talking about Epcot, which should be really exciting, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you again. Bye!